Getting close to that time.
Oh
Training
man,
training camp right around the
excited!
corner.
I'm excited. Are you planning to come over here?
To a game?
Well, or to one of the practice?
Nah, because we start practice. I think training camp starts on the 22nd, right? And I start my own
Yeah,
practice a week later. So no,
yeah.
I won't make it. And I want to try to find a way to get to the Miami game, but I don't know if it's gonna happen.
Oh, that's the shortest
That
of all the road games you have.
that's the closest one for me. And I had tickets to the Atlanta game last year, but I didn't find out I had tickets until like 3 hours before the game. That's a 4 hour drive for me.
Ah, that
So I didn't
sucks.
make it. So I
That
didn't
sucks.
make it. But as soon as I find this on my page and I can pull up the chat box, we can go ahead and jump into what we're gonna do.
Yep, it's already streaming, as I
Okay.
see.
Yeah, I have it up here.
All right. There it is for me. Let me turn this volume down. I just want to see the chat. Oh, there we go. We got people in here already. What's up,
Yeah.
Alex? Samuel. Glad to see you guys in here. We got
What's up, fellas?
Joe Noobo. We got Sonny here, and we got 10 burning questions with 2019 season coming up. So I give you guys a chance to introduce yourself and give you shout out your channels first before we get started. So people that don't follow you, which I'm sure most people do, can go ahead and do so. You can go first, Joe.
All right, guys. Well, I am Joe Noobo. For those that don't know, my channel is Joe Noobo as well. JOE space NOOBO. Twitter, NF Podcasts, Instagram, Joe Noobo as well. You guys can give me a follow if you're a Ravens fan. I mean, I just share my opinions on Ravens stuff, of course. So, yeah, check it out.
Sonny.
So, guys, my name is Sunny. My channel is at SZGSports on Twitter, at SZGSports on YouTube, Facebook, anywhere. You can find me at SZGSports. I do Ravens, like both Coach and Noobs. Me and Noobs also do a weekly podcast.
Yep.
And I do Orioles and Wizards, although I have been very frustrated with the Orioles, so I haven't been wanting to vent out there. So instead of venting, although I need to make my after the All-Star break video. But yeah, you see, the problem is not the losing. The problem is being stupid, which is what irritates me. Anyway, let me not side there. Yeah, go ahead, subscribe to my channel. I like to interact with all you.
I do want to say this. And this is off topic. I'm an Indians fan, and you guys
Mhm.
blasted my Indians about a week or so ago, and I thought all hell was gonna break loose. I was nervous.
We look like a different team. I was like, what has this team been? Now
Right.
you have one of my boys, Lindor. I
Oh
love
yeah, I
Lindor.
love Lindo. He's my favorite player right now. So for the guys tuning in, this is what's gonna happen. I have 10 questions here, and I'm gonna ask Joe. I'm gonna ask Sonny, and I'm also gonna type it. I'm gonna actually type it in the chat box. Joe, can you see your chat box too?
Yeah, I can see it.
And that way, Joe and Sonny can answer, and you guys in the chat box can answer, and that way we can address as many answers as possible, and you guys can feel like you're a part of the show, and we'll talk with you guys in the chat box from that way. So that way we can make it your show as well. Okay.
Cool.
So I'm gonna work on typing the first question. Here we go.
All right.
You guys ready?
Let's do this.
Bam. First question.
Okay.
Dive right into it.
All right.
Ooh.
Sunny, you want to start things off or what?
Yeah, I can start. So I think early in the season, they're gonna try to get all the opportunities to Jalen Hurts or Alex Lewis.
Okay.
And I think they want to see Alex Lewis exceed in there. I think they want to have Hurst to be basically the backup of all positions minus center. And Alex Lewis probably will win the position. And then he will get hurt probably in week 1. And then you're gonna have Hurst for a little bit, and eventually, I think they want to have the same transition that they have with Zeus with Powers. I think Powers is actually a little more polished, more ready for the NFL game than Zeus was. I think Zeus what helps him is he's so massive, right? I'm not saying that he's bad, but he's just big and so tough for rushers to go around the guy. That helps him a lot. I think Powers it has better technique. But I think in my opinion, it's Lewis' job to lose. He's more of a veteran. He should have a leg up. He has played the position. He's always hurt. I think Alex Lewis will be the winner, and I'm good with that. It's just he's gonna get hurt. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, honestly, it's such a tough question because it's like I would love if Ben Powers could just come in and automatically be this beast, but when I checked out some of his tape, I didn't really necessarily see that. I mean, I don't know if I could see him starting eventually, but I don't know if he's just a day one starter. I don't think he is. So, Alex Lewis, I guess, would be fine. But again, just like you said, man, can he stay healthy? That's the biggest question mark about Alex Lewis. I don't know if it'll happen. And you guys already know, I mean, if you guys watch my videos, I absolutely despise James Worst. I don't want to see him anywhere on the O-line. I don't care if it's guard, if it's tackle. I don't want to see him anywhere. I don't know. I guess you're right, Sonny. I think it is Alex Lewis right now, but hopefully it can change. But we'll see, man. I don't know.
Oh, so you have Hurst. Both of you guys have Lewis, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm going with Powers.
Okay.
I'm going with Powers, and the reason I'm going with Powers is because I feel like they should have started Zeus from the jump, and he would have been that much better toward the end of the year. So hopefully that I think they won't make that same mistake this year. And go ahead and put the young guy in there, let him get his bumps and bruises and mistakes out early in the year. That way, when we get in that stretch run week like 10 through 16 or 8 through 16, when we really need to be hitting on all cylinders, he'll be ready to go.
Yeah.
So
why waste that? Because we all feel like Lewis is gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
Pattern.
Yeah.
So why just let him be the backup, and that, he may be healthier, and in that stretch when when we need him, and because if he don't work out by week 8, then you can go ahead and put Lewis in there, and now he hasn't played that much, and maybe he can stay healthy down the stretch.
Yeah, it's not. True. I don't disagree with you. For me, it's more Ravens historically under Harbaugh. They usually don't start any of the young guys, other than Stanley, unless it's a necessity. I think Lewis started actually week 1 because we had a couple injuries. If not week 1, very early that year, but that's not their MO. Like not with Humphreys, not with anybody. To be honest, they tried to put the veteran there and tried to just slowly get the rookie ready to play again, unless it's really necessary. So that's another reason that I'm thinking. Another guy that I can see, if not Lewis, is Bozeman. But I'm biased because I would like to see him at center. I
was going to say that. I forgot because somebody mentioned it in the chat. I totally forgot about Bradley Bozeman, dude.
Yeah, I did too. And I think I want to change my answer.
Okay.
to Bozeman, because I did forget about Bozeman, and so is it safe to say we got 4 guys lined up for that spot?
Yeah,
what position does and I know I'm gonna say his name wrong because I always does Jermaine
Illuminor.
Yes, what position does he play?
Illuminor. Yeah.
Well, he was a tackle in college, and then he has played both tackle and guard. I think he is a little bit better in guard. He's atrocious in tackle, in my opinion. I think he's behind all of them.
Okay.
He was drafted as a project, and it was fine because of the round. Same thing with Senant.
Right.
And Senant, I think, is more of a tackle, and they do want to develop him more of a tackle. If he's good, he will push, in my opinion, Hurst out. Especially then you can keep maybe Lewis and Hurst. I'm sorry, not Hurst and Senant. If he's good, because Senant still has years left in his contract, very cheap. So, but yeah, I think it's between Bozeman, Lewis, and Powers.
Okay.
So,
I agree with you on that. And initially I said Powers, but I think it's going to be Bozeman to take that spot, because I think I didn't think Skura played bad last year. He had some bad moments, but I didn't think he played bad enough to be replaced.
That's Sonny's favorite player right there.
Yeah. I think Bozeman is better. I think Bozeman can be better, but Harbaugh trusts his veterans, and Bozeman's not a rookie, but
Right.
Bozeman hasn't played center either. So unless Skura gets hurt, and then Bozeman steps up and plays well, it will take a miracle. It will have to be like Skura comes onto preseason and campus is just atrocious for him to lose the job. Even if he's not as good as last year, not the saying that he was good last year, but even if he took a step back from last year, he still be the guy at center, in my opinion.
Okay. Anything to add, Joe?
No, I mean, I agree with pretty much everything you guys said. So
okay. So to close out this question, it's safe to say Yonder, Orlando Brown, and Ronnie Staley are for sure starters, and then that center and left guard are the positions that'll be up for debate when
definitely the weakest positions, I would say, for sure. But I always thought maybe since Ben Powers and Orlando Brown have that little, they're best friends, right? So what if maybe we and I brought this up in one of my streams and people were like clowning on me. I don't know if it's stupid to think, but maybe if we put Powers at right guard, move Yanda over to left guard, maybe I don't know, maybe that would help him out a bit,
Yeah, and that would be a good coaching move. You put guys with in a good position to excel. Yeah. And they already got some chemistry, from playing together.
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, didn't Powers play left guard?
Right.
Yep.
And Zeus play left tackle, so they had to be played. I didn't watch the film when Zeus was a rookie or his last year in Oklahoma. So, but if they both play left tackle, left guard, they might know each other well, and that's chemistry, right? Yanda can play either position. Let's be honest, Yanda. This dude, when they need him to fill in right tackle, he has done a good job. Not at all pro level, but a really good job on a tackle position. Yes. So moving him on left guard, he'd probably be like, well, that's okay. I mean, he's good. He's elite. Let's be honest. He's, in my opinion, he's a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Absolutely.
And from the chat box, Garnet West says it's all about chemistry and communication in the trenches, and that couldn't be more right. Those 5 guys working as one is what we need, and the NFL is about the best 5 guys that can get together and do that job as one. All right. So let's move on to question 2. I'm gonna go ahead and type in question 2. Remember, guys, in the chat box, you can answer too, and we'll talk about your comments.
Yep. Let's hear your opinions, guys. That's what we're here for.
And as Coach is typing the question, if you guys can hit the like button, we have 22 people watching, 5 likes.
Let's boost it up, guys. Let's make it a good day today, All right. I know it's the dead season, but you guys are still here.
Yeah, we're still searching for content.
Yeah.
Searching for content on a daily basis.
Yep.
All right, question 2 is in there. It's who will have a bigger impact, Andrews or Hurst? And not the left guard Hurst.
Okay. Interesting.
Noobo, you want to start this one?
Sure. Well, I think the easy answer here would be Andrews, of course, because he had such a really good rookie season, and we're expecting him to take that next step up and really become, hopefully the next one of the top tight ends in the league. But the thing with Hayden Hurst, he's been, if you guys are on Twitter, if you've seen him on Twitter, he's been, he's been kind of spitting that, he's telling people, just watch me this year, man. He's going to prove that he's a first round worthy pick, so. But I do think that Andrews is the answer here for now. So, but I would love to see Hurst step up, man. That would just be awesome to have 2 beast tight ends. That would be great.
All right.
So in my book, let me start with, I don't think Hurst was ever worth a first round pick just because of his age.
Duly noted.
Yeah, and not even because he was bad last year. His age, when he finished the rookie year, I don't even know if it's going to be worth for that second contract. So that's it. Now, not hating on him, I think Hurst has a big chip on his shoulder. I think these 2 tight ends complement each other very well. Hurst is a guy that when you see him, if you go to the South Carolina tape and if you see what he has done, limited opportunities, but what he has done is, one, he catches the ball, he explodes, he has a very big acceleration. I'm not saying he's uber fat, but what he does, he has a very fast, twitchy gear. He catches the ball, he pushes very quickly. Andrews, on the other hand, dude can find a hole. He very, very surgical on finding the hole on zones. And when somebody, I feel like at this point in the league, it's very hard to find somebody that can cover a tight end. So he's a mismatch on cover corner or safeties. It's very hard because if either he's very tall, if you put a slow guy, he's still fast enough and very smart. Now Andrews doesn't have that second gear. I mean, as we seeing, I know in the Charger game he actually pulled out that touchdown, but he's not as fast. I think both of them can complement each other. I do think Andrews will have a better year because he developed the chemistry with Lamar already. Lamar favored him a lot last year. So I think that's going to push him to have a better year than Hurst. Hurst basically will have to come in and start developing that chemistry. So
yeah, true.
Joe?
Oh yeah, I already said before Sonny. So
Okay, well, it's on me now. I think
Yeah.
it's going to be I want to say Hurst because I think Hurst is more athletic.
okay.
yes, for sure.
But my answer is going to be Andrews. And this is why. Because Andrews is more of a blocker. Is a better blocker, so to speak. I say more of a blocker. He's a better blocker. He's a bigger body with almost the same athletic ability as Hurst. Almost. Hurst is an extremely athletic guy, going from baseball to football, and he can do a bunch. He can run pretty well, but him being hurt allowed Andrews to develop to be the complete tight end.
Mhm.
I think Andrews is potentially can be one of the top 5 tight ends in the league, if not top 2.
Yeah,
Maybe not this year, but he can progress to that.
I think this year he is gonna end up being a top 10 tight end in the league. I mean, if you think about
I already
it,
think he's top 10. I already got him top 10.
there's not many. There's a lot of tight ends that are decent. I think Andrew's really good. And to go to your point, Hurst will have to learn how to block. He needs to. If not, what's gonna happen is he's gonna fall to number 3 in the depth chart because we want basically a blocker that can catch for both of them.
Somebody in the chat box said, "What about Boyle?" And I think I'm pronouncing it right.
Yeah.
I think Boyle, and you know what? I'm gonna get off tangent a little bit. Every time I play Madden, Boyle is my number 1 tight end. And I have to put Andrews and Hurst in the game. And I don't know why, but anyway, Boyle, in my opinion, is a blocker.
Yeah.
He's an
extra lineman.
He can be the H back. He can be the H back and go from there. But I don't think he has the talent level of Hurst or Andrews.
For sure. You know what I see them using Boyle a lot? You know what they used Max Williams last year as a fullback blocker? He can block, and then if he doesn't block, he can come out on the flat. He has good hands for the short passes. He can also block on line and also go on a flat or just do like a small curl, like a 4-yard, just a hatch. So Boyle will be more on your in my opinion, your short passes, safety blankets, basically last option on the play development, versus both Hurst and Andrews will be primary targets.
Right.
But if Hurst doesn't learn how to block, that's when he's just gonna fall to 3rd. Still, when he's on the field, they're gonna demand more from Hurst because, like you said, Coach, both of them have more talent than Boyle. But
I think so.
Yeah, no, for sure. But if he cannot block, they're gonna use Boyle more than Hurst.
Right.
Well, the thing I think is that because I heard that Hurst has actually bulked up. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was so I think he's going to definitely be working more on the blocking for sure coming into this season. And that's another reason why I've said it before. I think that we're going to be cutting Patrick Ricard. I don't know if you guys agree with me on that.
I do agree.
Yeah.
Because I think Nick Boyle and Hayden Hurst and our tight ends are going to be more than enough. I don't think we're going to need Ricard anymore. So.
Right. And he didn't get any snaps at D tackle because I know they had him listed at D tackle too, right?
Yeah.
So. I thought earlier in the year, maybe in the first week or 2, he got maybe a snap here, especially on the blowout game that we had against Buffalo. He might have just commented on a couple, but I mean, he started getting inactive.
Yeah.
Right.
No, right.
So yeah, I think he was in a doghouse before all the comments. After the comment, they say like, "Do we really need him?" I thought Max Williams was doing a hell of a job in the fullback / tight end roles.
Right.
He was an excellent blocker. I wish we couldn't just give him the 1-year bet minimum to Max Williams and just bring them 4 back. But
I would love to have all 4 of those guys back.
yeah, because Max Williams was very. I mean, injuries aside, very underrated blocker. I mean, dude was he didn't come in as a blocker from college. I mean, he came as a 19-year-old guy, but he learned it quick. Not quick, but he learned it, and he was really good. Him and Boyle were really good. And Andrews, at the end of the year, he was blocking way better. So if Hurst, like I said, if Hurst learns how to block, then now you have 3 legit blocking tight ends, which is very unheard of from this league.
Right.
True.
All right.
True.
So question 3, I already have it typed up, so I'm just gonna go ahead and hit enter. And
Okay.
Alex, if if it's not too long, we'll discuss some of those undrafted free agents. Just remind us though, because we'll get to talk about other stuff, forget about it. So if it's not an extremely long stream, we'll hit that up a little bit. But question 3 is here.
Okay. Who will lead the Ravens in rushing?
Ooh. Who will lead the Ravens in rushing?
Okay.
And keep in mind, I'm going to give you some names so you can kind of think about it. Obviously, number 1, you have Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
You have Mark Ingram. You have Gus. Yep. And you can throw in Ingraven's favorite player. I'm not going to call his name. And our rookie, Justice Hill.
Old Butterball, huh?
Hey, you saw the video of him working out?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, man.
I did.
Let me before I answer the question, I will say I like Dixon a lot. My problem with Dixon is he's not dependable. True. Either he will get hurt or he is suspended. Mm-hmm. So when he's on the field, he doesn't look in shape, but dude is twitchy, dude is slippery. He's good. The problem is he's not dependable. Now, I will say if Lamar leads their team in rushing, it's not that it's problematic that means that you had a very bad running back core. It's more that Lamar's probably going to take more hits than necessary. Mm-hmm. So I want Lamar to get his, 400 or 500 yards, maybe 6 at most. Mm-hmm. I will go with Gus Edwards.
Okay.
And the reason is Gus understands how to run in this offense versus Ingram is a really good runner, but he hasn't played in the NFL level on this type of read option. I'm not saying he might just do great, but I haven't seen it. Gus did it. Gus was excellent on it. This is not a knock on Ingram. I just think they're probably going to be very similar, but I think Gus is going to overtake him.
Interesting.
All right.
Well, I do got to disagree with you, Sonny, on quite a few points that you made. So, first of all, I actually could see Lamar getting more than 600 yards. And I know people hate to see that, hate to hear that, because they're like, oh, God, we don't want to see him run so much. But when you have a guy that's so dynamic with his legs, he's one of the best, probably maybe the best running quarterback we've ever seen. I mean, I'm throwing that out there, but he's just amazing with his legs. So you have to use that, man, when you have that talent. And I know that people want him to be more of a drop back, kind of throwing the ball, being more accurate, and that's fine. But you got to use your weapons, man. And Lamar, he knows that his legs are very deadly weapons. So I would love to see him use those legs. And the thing with Gus, I love Gus, man. I really hope that he can turn out to be really good for us. I really liked what he did last year for us, for sure. I hope that he is working on, a little more of the receiving game so he can become more of a complete back. But I'm actually really high on Mark Ingram. I know, Sonny, you're not too high on Mark Ingram because I remember when we signed him, you were kind of, a little bit upset about it, I remember. But it's actually funny enough because it was Coach that got me to really get on the Ingram hype train, man, because he did a little tape study on him, and I saw him like, man, this guy, he makes some good cuts. He's like, he can do it all, man. He's really, really good. So I'm going to go with Ingram in this question. I'm going to say Ingram is going to be our lead workhorse back, and I think he's going to lead the team in rushing.
So let me throw a couple of things, Coach, before you answer the question. Okay. So first, it's not that I don't want Lamar to rush for all that yardage. It's that I think they're going to be more careful on putting him to rush so many times.
Sure.
And if he rushes, something that I want him to do that RG3 never did, slide. Now, he's really good rushing to the sides and then going out of bounds. But when he rushes to the middle, he doesn't need to fight for that extra 2 yards on a regular season game. He needs to start sliding more. So that's the first point. Now, second, with Ingram, it's not that I was hating on the guy. For me, it was the necessity level I felt like Gus Edwards and Ingram was a little bit better version because he's a veteran of Gus Edwards. So again, I think Ingram can definitely lead this team in rushing. It's more for me as Ingram is a better player right now than Gus. It's more than Gus knows this offense better than Ingram. That's why I lean on Ingram a little bit more. Anyway, go ahead, Coach.
This is where I'm at with it. A week ago, I probably would have said Gus easily with Justice Hill close to him. After doing that study, which you just mentioned, Joe, and I watched way more film than I actually, put in video. And this dude is Gus Edwards, a better version of Gus Edwards. Now, obviously, he's a little older. He's they're probably the same size now because Gus has slimmed down some.
Yeah.
But his ability to cut, his jump cut was amazing to me.
I agree, vision-wise too.
His jump cut was amazing to me, and the fact that last year he ran away from some guys. I didn't see that in the past, and I followed Ingram's career pretty good. Being from New Orleans was the closest team to where I'm from originally. That drive was like 2 hours to the Superdome, so I followed him a lot. Ingram didn't have that when he first got there. When he coming out of Alabama, Ingram was Kenny Dixon. but now he slimmed down, and if you haven't seen that video I did, and it's a shameless plug on my channel, I did a video saying what Mark Ingram will bring to the backfield. So guys, go check that out. But I'm going with Mark. All right. I think Mark gets 1,200 yards.
Nice.
And I got numbers in my head. I'm gonna throw them out there. I think Mark gets 1,200. Gus is like right around 7. I think Lamar's gonna be right around 5, between from 5 to 7.
Wow. So that's probably the best rushing attack in the league, then, right there.
That's what I'm expecting anyway.
Yeah.
I expect our we'll answer that later. I was gonna get off tangent, but I think we're gonna have, and I'll even take a step back. I'll come off that 1,000 yards. I'll say right around 900. That way we can spread it out some.
I was gonna say.
I think those guys will. I think he's gonna have maybe 1,200 yards total. Let me say it like
that I can't see
with receiving and rushing. So 1,200 yards rushing was a little bit far fetched on my part, but 1,200 yards total. And because did you see the screen I put in there, Joe?
I think so. Yeah.
That was crazy.
No, he's a master. The thing is, I'm hoping the Ravens add that more to our, because we don't do many screens. I think that will help Lamar. I don't think none of our running backs will break 1,000, and that's including Lamar. Again, not hating on. I agree. This is not hating on the running backs. It's just I think it's gonna be spread the wealth. I think, in my opinion, it's gonna be more like 850 for Gus, around 800 for Ingram. Lamar, like you said, I think 6 to 7 is what I'm thinking, and then Justice Hill on a good 400 yards. That's what I'm thinking for this year, and I think Hill will be a lot of big plays.
Yeah, I think Hill's yards per carry will be big because he'll come in there after Gus and Marcus pounded him for 3 quarters, and he'll break big runs off, and screen game too, because Hill may be the third down guy.
I agree. I'm hoping they add the screen game to our repertoire. I think that, and I think Justice Hill on a flat, especially if everybody's in the box, he might make that guy miss. Good luck catching that boy.
Right. Right.
That's true.
Anything you want to sum it up with, Joe? You good?
Yeah, no, I wanted to just add something real quick, a little question we can answer real quick. Do you guys think Dixon makes the team?
No.
Because it seems like he's the odd man out right now, right?
And I like Dixon because what he did the second half of the year. He balled the second half of the year.
Yeah, when he was healthy.
He was healthy. He balled. I really like what he did, but I just don't see us keeping 5 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and he cannot play teams.
I think he's too old to be a practice squad guy.
That's true.
So I just think he's the odd man out because we signed Ingram to a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
We drafted Justice Hill, Gus Edwards.
Yep.
So if we keep a 4th running back, Will it be him?
Well, it's between him and Thompson. I think if
It's
there's
more
a
I like
obvious,
Lance.
to
yeah,
Lance.
no,
Yeah.
I agree. And again, the Lance you have him for more years too.
Shout
So
out to
he would
Lance,
have
Alcorn State's running back right there. You see it on the wall.
Oh
Lance
yeah.
from
he
Alcorn
would,
State.
Dixon will have to be a lot better than Thompson because Thompson is probably going to be more reliable. He hasn't had the suspension. He hasn't had the injury history. So Dixon will have to ball out in the preseason to make this team. If somebody gets hurt, obviously he makes the team as probably your third. But all things aside, everybody's healthy. I think he's the ball. And again, I started a statement. I like this thing a lot. When he's on the field, he doesn't look in shape, but the dude runs. He's slippery. He has a good cut.
Yes. He bounces off people.
Yes, but it's not dependable. He will get hurt or he will be suspended. And Harbaugh doesn't like that.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I think to answer your question, Joe, I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair
I'm gonna
enough.
say no. Now, somebody in the chat box, where is it? I want to see it before I get away. I'm missing it. Somebody had a question I want to answer, but it didn't got away from me. But we'll move on to the next question. I'm going to hit the button right here. This is the next question.
Okay. All right.
Before you answer, I found a question. Hold on. Do we think we can trade for him? Yes. That's what I was thinking. If we can trade for him before the preseason is over with and get something for Dixon, that's what I think is going to be the likely scenario because he's too old for a practice squad.
I disagree. I don't think he
disagree?
has any value on the trading block unless somebody just has a catastrophic injury and then the second guy gets another. The problem is there's too many backs by week 1 out there that people just want to give them a chance.
Yeah, they'll go with the young guys too.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I don't think a team will trade for Dixon. Especially teams know when you have the odd man out.
Yeah.
And for a running back, you have to be special for somebody to trade for you.
True.
So that's why I think that's why I think he has no trade value. That's my opinion.
All right. The next question was: will Lamar pass for 2,500 yards? And I know the standard is 3,000 yards. Well, now the standard is probably 3,500 yards. But can Lamar get to 2,500? Being based off the type of offense we're gonna have. What you think?
Should I go first or?
I'll go first because y'all been going first.
Okay,
I'll go first. Keep trying to think. I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
I'm gonna say no. And the reason I say no is because we're going to be so good at running the ball. I think if Lamar has to pass for over 2,500 yards, we're losing games, and he's having to put the ball in the air. Now, if he gets to right around 2,500 yards, I think that's going to be great for us. Because I think if he can complete 55, 60% of his passes, his yards per catch will be high because of what we're going to do in the run game. And if he can, I don't think he's going to have to get to 3,000 yards because of what we're going to do in the run game.
That's interesting. Well, I can go, Sonny. I actually think he will surpass 2,500 yards. Because if you look, I actually did a video not too long ago where I was taking a look at Greg Roman's past offenses, kind of when he was with the Niners, when he was with the Bills, very similar to what we're going to run with Lamar. And both Kaepernick and Tyrod both had over 3,000 yards passing, and they still had about 500-600 yards rushing, I believe. So I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. I get what you're saying that, we're going to be running the ball a lot and we're probably going to be very successful running the ball. But I do think that we could potentially see, Lamar with at least, I would say 2,800 yards. I don't think that's impossible, But
yeah, that's possible. Now I'm doing the math to myself.
Yeah. So this is where I have him. I have him averaging 200 yards per game. Passing. I feel like that's doable. My biggest concern with Lamar and Noobo, we talk about this all the time, is can he hit the open receiver? My biggest beef with Lamar is always like you don't hit the open receiver on a consistent basis. He didn't last year. If he does that this year, again, 200 yards I think is doable, way doable, and that puts him in 3,200 yards. So I think he will be over 3,000 yards. I think that's the sweet spot. If you get him to throw between 190 and 210, that number, that's you're not saying that, you're not telling him go win with your arm. You're telling him basically, again, 200 yards just is small. And I think that's very doable for him. So that puts him in 3,200 yards. Think it basically as a good stat sheet for him would be 200 passing yards and like 80 rushing, between 50 and 80. And I think that's very doable for him. So yeah, I actually think over 2,500 yards is definitely.
Let me
I actually expect it.
Box. Sam, who's here all the time, says he thinks Lamar's going to throw for 4,000. And I wanna. I'm not gonna call him crazy because I kind of he's trying. In my opinion, I think he's thinking with the college thing, to the pro. The huge difference is when Lamar was in college, they ran no huddle, so he had a whole bunch more plays to get those numbers he put up. Now in NFL, they pretty much slowing it down. You're getting minimum plays, and if he ran a no huddle college type offense, he could get numbers like that. But because of the number of plays he's going to get, I don't think 4,000 is accurate for him. Now, can he be a consistent 3,000, 3,500 and push 4,000 once he's a complete passer? Yes.
I think 4,000 for year 2 is, again, for me, I will have to see him hitting the open receiver on a consistent basis before I put him in the 4,000.
Yeah.
He hasn't been able to do that. For some reason, he has been better on like deeper passes, at least more accurate on deeper passes. I feel like with Andrews, he even pushes to thread that needle with him.
Yeah.
But on an open sneak, they're seated on an island, he throws it to the feet.
Yeah.
On a dragger, he throws behind, right? So that contributes for the guy not to get yak yards.
It's those intermediate routes,
Yeah. Yep. So if he can hit that, because those passes are there, because everybody's so worried for him to run, those are easy passes. If he comes this year and starts completing that, that's going to help him in the running game. But more than that, it's going to help him in his yardage. But 200, I think, is fair. 200 yardage per game, that puts him in 32 for the season. I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now he obviously is the key cog. I mentioned in a video that we have the components to make a run. Yeah, he is the key cog. He has to have a better completion percentage. Mm-hmm. It has to push 60, no matter what the yards per catch is, no matter what the total yardage is.
I agree with you, Coach.
When he's open, when the guys are open, he got to hit them. He got to. You got to. So people can't load the box, because the only way they can stop that running game is by loading the box. Yep. And if he completes passes, they can't load the box.
I agree. Completely agree.
All right. Yep. Let's see what's in the chat box while I type this other one. Oh, I'm gonna throw this one out there since I'm not gonna type this one. Will we have a receiver break 1,000 yards? We can answer that one.
I don't think so, to be honest with you. And it's just because we're so. I was talking about it in the video that I put up earlier today. Our team, especially at the receiver core, is so young, man. Like, the only veterans we have is Willie Snead and Seth Roberts, if he even makes the team. And I mean, you have Chris Moore, I guess, but I mean, Chris Moore, But anyway, I don't think so. And I know a lot of people want to sit back and say, "Oh, Hollywood is going to be offensive rookie of the year. He's going to have 1,200 yards received." I don't see it, man. A lot of you guys know, if a lot of you are subscribed to my channel, and you guys know I was not the biggest Hollywood Brown fan before we drafted him, but
true.
yeah. I mean, but that's in the rearview mirror now. But anyway, yeah, honestly, I don't think so. I maybe 800 at the most. I could see Snead putting that up, or maybe Hollywood has a good year, gets 800 yards. Boykin maybe, but yeah, honestly, I don't see anybody getting 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't see it either.
Yeah,
me neither.
I think Andrew's gonna lead.
True.
I think they're gonna be all pretty bunched up. I think it's unfair for you to think Hollywood's gonna come a rookie, kill it over 1,000 yards with a offense that is not tailored right now for a passing attack. I don't think it's fair. So I think Hollywood, if he gets me between 600 to 700, I think that's a spectacular year for him.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's probably where Snead's. I think Snead's probably gonna be more than Hollywood because Snead was so open so many times.
Yeah.
So if Lamar's hitting that, I think Snead is gonna get a lot of those chain moving passes. So I think it's more like 7 to 8, and that's also where I see Andrews leading, like 7 to 8, and those are you're gonna be, in my opinion, your top three, and then you gotta have a bunch of like 300 to 400 yarders,
Right.
guys.
I can agree with that.
Boykins, I think, again, as a rookie, you can't expect him to come and kill it. And like I said to a lot of you guys, because a lot of you send not from this channel, but my channel, telling me like, but Boykins was so fast. Yeah, Boykins was fast on the 40-yard, on the combine. When you go watch his tape, he doesn't play as fast. He does it.
Right.
Now, what he has, you can see in the tape, is that 50-50 tough contested catches. He fights for that. So I'm hoping he's more of a threat in the
Red zone.
Yeah.
Right? That Lamar can throw a fade, or you can just say like, if he gets an undersized corner, you tell Lamar, you throw it high. It's either a catch or an incompletion.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where I see him. I can see Boykins having more touchdowns than Hollywood. That I can see, but yardage wise, I don't see it.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, I got the next question queued up, and here it is.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
For me, I think it's Stanley.
Why?
I think Stanley is such an underrated left tackle. Dude holds his own. He plays hurt, which I don't like that he gets hurt a lot, but he does play hurt. Fundamentally, he's really good. And think about it. He goes against like Myles Garrett, right? He battles Garrett. If you go watch him, Garrett's is a huge guy.
Yeah, I know.
Right. And fundamentally, he's way ahead of Brown. I feel like if Brown can get 3/4 of the fundamentals that Stanley has, Brown's going to be unstoppable. Brown has the body to be a better tackle, but right now where Stanley is, and I mean, it's not a knock on Brown. Brown's going to his second year. He's probably a tiny bit behind.
This will be his third or fourth.
It's going to his fourth.
Okay.
So, but if I think of year two, Stanley was a little ahead right now of where Brown is. So in year two, if I compare them both coming in, Stanley had his fundamentals more clean than where Brown has it. But that's no knock on Brown. Brown's a 3rd-round pick. Stanley was a 6th overall pick.
Right.
I think Brown has the potential. If he puts to work, he could potentially be better than Stanley. But right now, Stanley is, I think, an underrated left tackle in the league, and a guy that we don't appreciate as much. But even Flacco, when Stanley was there, it wasn't like Flacco was just getting hit through his blind side. Right. Usually the pressure was coming more on the right side or sometimes to the middle for Flacco. So, yeah, I think Stanley.
Okay. Joe?
Yeah. I'm going to agree with you, Sonny, because I really like Stanley, man. And I do think he's very underrated. I think that it's something to be said when you don't have to be like, oh, man, we need a left tackle. You know, we haven't had to say that because we've had Ronnie Stanley there. We know we don't need a left tackle. And there's so many teams in the league that they need a left tackle, man. So it just feels good that we have both of the bookends sorted out, Orlando and Stanley on the other side. It just feels good to have two really good tackles for sure.
That is nice.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, I really like OBJ or Zeus. He's I think the thing about him is that he's so massive, so he just uses that, right? And that's great. That's awesome. And Stanley, he's definitely more about the fundamentals, about the technique, which is really good because that's what we need, man. You know, we just have two good tackles, and I love it. But yeah, I would say Stanley because I think it's about time for him. I think he deserves his Pro Bowl spot, man. And it's funny because you mentioned how sometimes Ravens fans give him crap, you know, give Stanley crap. And we always say, Sonny, that if a player's not Jonathan Ogden, if they're not Ed Reed, if they're not Ray Lewis, then they're trash, right? I mean, but you gotta appreciate what we have, man. And Stanley's good.
Yeah, I think as Ravens fans, we were lucky that we early in the life of the team got so many Hall of Famers, and now people are so spoiled, right?
Yeah,
right.
But you have to appreciate your players. I mean, Stanley's a guy that just comes and works.
Yep.
My answer is Brown.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you the reasons why. Stanley is more athletic.
Mm-hmm.
Stanley is a guy that can, when we run the outside zone, or run screens or whatever, he can get out there and move and actually not get faked out by linebackers or whatever and miss blocks. Brown can't do that, so I'll give Stanley that. But Brown is so massive that when he finally gets his, and I'm gonna quote take a Vash Lombardi term, when he gets in his man body fully, he's gonna maul people.
Yep.
And I think that's, from rookie year to this year, will develop his man body, and he realized toward the end of the year what he can do to people. And that big old joker leaning on you for 3 quarters, the fourth quarter you're just gonna tap out.
That's true.
Fourth quarter, you're gonna tap out, and we're gonna run off that right side, and like somebody just put in the comment, he a bully.
Yep.
He is. He's a bully. Him and Cody Ford are bullies. Yep. And I see them being the same type person, the same type player.
Man,
but I think it's gonna be Brown. I'm glad we got both of them.
Yeah, I don't disagree, Coach. That's what I'm saying. I think at this point right now is Stanley, but Brown has the body to be spectacular, right?
Right.
It's just, can he develop? And I think he can. I just think in year 2, and what I'm expecting for him is to take a step up, and then in year 3 to be polished.
Yes.
Versus Stanley is already, I think, polished, right? And again, this is no knock on Brown. I think it's just sometimes we do expect a fan to have young guys to be like perfect already. And no, I mean, they have to. It's different.
And then
look, think about for the most part, Zeus, when he came to the league, when he started, he was going against also primary defenders. We were facing really good D-line. Think about when we faced the Chargers, right? Not in the play. I feel like the playoff game, he had one of his worst games. Right. Maybe he was too in his head. Again, pressure
he gave
for
up his first sack in that game.
Yeah. But in the regular season, when we played them over there in LA, he had a hell of a game against really good, solid, one of the best D lines in the league.
And what's the other guy on the other edge?
Ingram and Bosa.
Yeah, Ingram and Bosa. Yeah.
So I think for me it's Stanley, but we, like Noobo said, we are lucky we are set and bookends.
Ingram, man, he made James Hurst his bitch, man. If
we're being real, when he moved him inside.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh man.
That was sad.
That was sad to watch, man. I was I was so mad about that. But
anyway. I was in the game. It was sad.
I was in San Antonio at a restaurant and on the Riverwalk. Yeah. And it took everything in my power to be a civil person while that game was going on.
Yeah.
There was so many things I wanted to say and throw stuff and all kind of stuff.
Oh man. Yep.
All right, here we go. Next question. Oh, I just misspelled that. Can't do that. There we go. We're gonna jump to the other side of the ball now.
All right.
Got it?
Yeah,
I see it.
I'll let you guys start.
Okay. I'll go. Give you a chance to ponder it for a minute.
Sure.
Tavon Young.
Wow.
And this is why I say Tavon Young. They're gonna game plan Marlon. They're going to game plan Earl. Tony's going to be in the box, and Jimmy and Carl going to kind of hold their own. But I think Tavon is going to be the guy that people think they can throw at, and Tavon's going to make them pay.
Wow, interesting. I like that idea. I like it a lot. Okay. I got to say Earl Thomas, man. I just really am excited to see what he can bring to this secondary, an already very good secondary. And it's funny because as you were talking, there was a name that came into my mind, but at the same time, I don't think it's possible, but maybe Deshaun Elliott.
Man, I already wrote it in the chat. That's what I wrote.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Why so serious?
What if Deshaun Elliott, because we've heard that this guy's a ball hawk, and I know that we like Tony Jefferson, and a lot of people don't, but we like Tony Jefferson.
I love him.
But I would like to see Deshaun Elliott play, man, and I think he could make some plays along with Earl Thomas. But yeah, I'll say Earl Thomas.
So for me, and that's something I mentioned in one of my streams. I think Elliott is gonna take the position of Levine,
Okay.
and Levine is gonna be playing more on the linebacker side because we have no depth.
Right.
And we need extra people. And Levine can cover, he can tackle. He's big enough to be to help in the middle linebacker. So I think they like Elliott. The only way to get him in the field is make him the new Levine and make Levine play that. Again, we don't have a third middle linebacker currently. So I put Elliott because I think Elliott will come on those passing situations.
Mhm.
And the only reason I don't say a guy like Young, because I love Young's hands, is because if we play similar to what we played last year, and we were such a good defense that I don't think they're going to want to deviate from that. What we play was we man up. It felt like we man up the whole game, but we man up a lot. And when you man, because this is something that I keep hearing from my Ravens fans, it's like, why is Marlon Humphrey still having so many picks? I'm like, when you're manning up, the only way you can have picks is if the quarterback underthrows the ball.
Mhm.
You are basically there to
Knock the ball
impede,
down.
exactly, impede a catch. Interception is a
Come in
hell of a
zone.
bonus.
They come in
Yeah,
zone.
exactly. So that's why I think it's gonna be either Earl or Deshaun. I think the reason I go with Deshaun is I think the problem. If I was a betting man, I would say Earl,
Yeah.
but I think Deshaun will come in those passing plays, and he's coming to be just a roamer, like a free safety there with Earl, and they probably gonna make Tony be like a middle linebacker in those positions. Because let me just go in a tangent. Love me some Tony Jefferson. The dude explodes to the ball. Somebody catches it. That dude just like a bull just goes there. Just wants to decap. He's not as big as Pollard, so Pollard really decapitated you, but he's a short tackler.
Ooh.
Yeah, man, I love me some Pollard. But anyway, that's why I think one of those two, either Elliott or Earl. It's not that I don't think Young cannot do it. I just think the defensive packages that we're throwing a lot in there, the corners are not in the best position to make turnovers. That's why last year we were like 30th
Mhm.
in the league in turnovers.
We were the best defense, but one of the fewest ones that turned it over.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it was because we didn't allow yardage because of
Mhm.
how the package were set, but the picks weren't coming, and Eric Weddle wasn't rangy enough to react. That's
Right.
what I'm hoping Earl does, and a guy like Elliott. So that's why I think one of those two.
Yep.
All right. Now I do want to say this: why I didn't pick Earl. Earl made a statement that kind of bothered me a little bit. He said that learning this offense, learning this defense was he didn't say hard, but the way he phrased it made it seem like it was a little bit difficult for him to pick up because he said all they played in Seattle was cover 3.
Cover 3 all the time. Cover
So
3.
Weddle's a smart guy. Earl's a smart guy, and I think he'll pick it up. But just him learning the nuances of it early in the year, because he probably won't play much in the preseason, if at all.
Yeah.
So his preseason will be weeks 1 through 4.
Yeah.
So by the time week 5 and 6, then he'll be in into the Earl that we hope that we paid for.
Yep.
So that's why I didn't pick him, because I don't think he'll round out to Earl Thomas that we know and respect until week 5, week 6, or after the bye week, whenever our bye is. I think it's early this year.
I think Wink was very creative with the safeties. They do a lot of releasing pick by the safety sometimes with the corner blitzing, and I think that's something he's not used to. Like he said, he basically plays cover 3. I think at the beginning, like you said, the preseason for him will be week 1 through 4. I think they're gonna try to put him more in like a deep center field type of play. So him to have more space, to him to make the decision, versus with Weddle, they were like move him more. And I think with time they want to move him more, like they did with Weddle. But at the beginning, I think they're gonna try to put him in a position that he can succeed.
That's good points.
You finish up, Joe?
Yeah. You can move on, because I know it's getting late for you guys, so I don't want to.
I'm good. I just gotta go run a bunch of teenagers early in the morning.
I know Sonny has to wake up in like 2 hours or something.
This is fun. I'm good.
Okay. So the next question is, I go ahead and say it while I'm typing it in. Who will lead the team in sacks?
Oh gosh, that's a good question.
That is a hard one. That's
Oh,
go ahead.
There we go. Now we get into the meat and potatoes.
Oh gosh.
I'm
So
between.
I know. I go ahead. I give you guys time to think.
Go ahead, Sonny, because I'm still
I'll go
thinking
first
about it.
unless Sonny, you want to jump in there.
Yeah.
I'll let you, Coach. We're in your channel, so
Okay, I'll
please.
go first. So you guys give you time to think.
Okay.
Now, who I obviously probably everybody gonna think Judon,
Mm-hmm.
and because Judon was there and produced and whatnot. But I really think, and some people gonna hate me for this, it's gonna be Shane Ray.
Man, I put it in
Wow.
the chat. I said
Wow.
Judon.
I think it's gonna be Shane Ray.
Okay.
Shane Ray is coming out. Shane Ray is on I think he's gonna be on a redemption tour because he was good before. I don't know what happened, and then I guess Von Miller happened, but he was good. He was a good pass rusher in college.
Yeah.
He came out right after Michael Sam from the same school, and I don't know what they were teaching the defensive ends there, but Shane Ray was getting it.
Yeah.
He was a good player, and I think he's on a 1-year deal.
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Sonny.
Yep. No, he is.
So he's gonna try to get his money.
Yep.
And it may not be from us, but he's gonna ball out to get his money, and I think he'll lead the team with us with 8, 9, well, not 8 or 9, but like 10 sacks, right around 10 sacks. I think our sack leader is gonna be right around 10 or 11 sacks because I think we got enough guys to spread it out.
I agree on the stat wise. It's gonna be something that I have been debating with other podcasters. We don't have that TJ Watt,
Right.
Von Miller type, but we have a bunch of guys that can give you, in my opinion, between 7 and 11 sacks.
Yeah.
And then
now Judon has the biggest potential to get 10, 12, 14, 16 sacks.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's going to do it.
But the other thing is for Judon, they're gonna game plan for Judon more this year because they know that's the guy. In the case, I thought, and me and Noobo have talked about this before. I think Ray is the starter week 1.
Mm-hmm.
What I need from Ray is to learn how to set a damn edge. Because if you watch videos, he's not good in the running game, and that will drive Harbaugh crazy.
Yep.
But if he is decent, Ray is currently, I would say Ray is a better version of what Tim Williams is. They're both really, because Tim Williams is a better rusher than Judon. If you take it just as pure rushers, I think Judon is a better player. Judon can set an edge. He didn't came knowing how to set an edge, but he learned. But Shane Ray is a better version of Tim Williams. I think if Ray cannot set an edge by the time preseason's done, I think Bowser then is a starter because Bowser is more overall complete outside linebacker, not as good as a pass rusher. But Ray then will come on the passing downs, and dude is aggressive. Dude plays hard. He has a great motor. I like him a lot. I think he didn't work out in Denver, and then they drafted Shubb, and they had Shubb and Miller, so they had no need for him.
Right.
But on a 1-year deal, you think we have 2 guys extra motivated on a 1-year deal, Judon and him, and then you have a guy like Bowser try to prove
McPhee.
McPhee.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so with McPhee is something I don't think McPhee's gonna be an outside this year. I don't think they should make him an outside. McPhee, like Z, I felt like both of them are better rushing through the interior. And I actually think Ferguson is also going to be more, in my opinion, a 3-4 DN this year than a outside linebacker. He's more of a guy that hand in the dirt. Let me just go ahead and just push. So just to resume, I think, in my opinion, like you said, Coach, I have Ray and then second Judon.
Interesting. Yeah, you guys brought up some names that I like. For some reason, I just completely forgot about, man. Like Shane Ray, I totally forgot we brought him in. McPhee as well. I think Judon is definitely the easy answer just because he's expected to take that next step. He's supposed to be, I guess replace Suggs, which I don't think he will because Suggs just brought that. Not only was he a good pass rusher, but he was also very good at setting the edge, which we're definitely going to miss. But I would love to sit here and because the first name that popped into my head was Tim Williams. I'll be honest with you guys, but I just don't know, man. I don't know if Harbaugh really likes him because for some reason last year he was a healthy scratch for quite a few weeks. So I don't know if there's something there that Harbaugh doesn't like about Tim Williams. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I would love if he could step up because they're coming. Both Bowser and Williams are coming into their third year, right? Is their third year? Yeah. So this is the year, man, for them to both step up and really become those players, man, that we need. I really, really like Bowser coming out of college. He's shown some flashes here and there when he does get playing time. He hasn't really, gotten enough playing time, I think, but yeah, I guess the name that popped into my head first was Tim Williams, just because I think this is the year that he needs to take that next step, man. So that's my answer.
So we got Tim Williams. I got Shane Ray, and you got Shane Ray also, Sonny?
Yeah, I have Ray.
Okay.
I have Ray leading sacks. Let me also say something for you guys. If you guys think about our D-line from outside linebackers to the interior, our depth is insane. Think about Ray.
Yeah.
Tim Williams, Bowser, and Judah on the outside, right?
Ferguson.
I think Ferguson either gonna be outside or 3-4 at the end, and then you have Ferguson, you have Siler, but I'm expecting him to have a better year. Wormley going to his third year, so now he should be more seasoned. You have Pierce if he's healthy enough to play, and then you have B. Wills and Mac, right? Because it's the biggest.
Don't forget about Gerald Willis.
Gerald Willis.
Yeah. I think one of those two will make the team, and the other guy will be IR. That's been my whole MO.
That Phantom IR.
Yeah. He will pull a hammy if for some reason the hammy has to be IR. Our depth, guys, and I'm sure I'm still. Oh, and McPhee also. Again, I think McPhee, if they keep, it's gonna be more of a 3-4 DN than the outside backer. Our depth is insane, and one of the reasons, and one of the things is, you can have guys being fresh all the time, and that's going to help a lot. Because if our corners can defend like they have in the past couple of years, that's going to give them time to hunt to the backers.
Quick story. I was on a Cowboys YouTuber channel the other day, and he was trying to figure out what defenses in the league were better than the Cowboys, and I immediately said the Ravens. Yeah. So, with his lack of, our team, to be politically correct, he said, "Did we have anybody as good as what's their defensive end?"
Lawrence, DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah. My reply to him was no, we didn't. Yeah. So his second question was, "Do we have anybody as good as Jalen Smith?" My reply again, no. But still, as our overall defense, we're way better than him because your secondary is trash.
I agree.
We have okay to good players up front. Yep. We have okay to good linebackers. We just don't really have depth. But our secondary is elite.
Yep.
I agree.
And y'all secondary can't help y'all up front because y'all secondary is trash.
Yep.
I agree with you.
His thing was because we didn't have a player as good as D-Law or Jalen Smith. And he tried to throw Van Der Esch in there, but I wouldn't let him.
Yeah.
So but
see, that's what people always say about the Ravens defense, man. We don't have an elite like that player that you're like, oh man, you got to watch out for him necessarily. But the thing about the Ravens defense is that we got pieces at every single position, man.
Exactly.
So not many defenses can say that, and we have depth on top of that.
That's the key. That's the key.
It's a team effort. Look, we have depth in corners, which other team? I think the Chargers probably can, but I mean, if Marlon needs a break, then you still have Carr and Smith there balling out, right? So you have a rotations on corners. You still have a hell of a nickel corner over there on Young.
Yeah.
I love our defense, to be honest, and I'm more of a defensive guy than I am on the offensive side.
Yeah.
But man, I do think Marlon Humphrey is a top 5 corner. I'm hoping he gets that,
But you saying that, son, let me hit enter on this next question because this may be your answer. Marlon Humphreys may be your answer.
All right.
Let me see.
There it is.
Yeah, for sure, Humph.
That's what you're gonna go with?
Yeah, Humph. I don't think Earl will be an All-Pro. I think he will be a Pro Bowler probably, but not an All-Pro. But Humphrey, I think this is Humphrey's year.
And I'm gonna keep you short with mine. I think Humphreys also. I think Marlon's going to be not what they call him now. They mess with him. Not Marlon.
Oh,
Marvin.
Marvin. Yeah.
I think Marvin's going to be an All-Pro, and I hope he don't see this and want to kill me.
He'll block us. He'll block all three of us on Twitter.
Don't block me, please. Don't block me. Just jokes. It's just jokes. But I think he's going to be All-Pro, and potentially one of our linemen. I think so.
Interesting.
Potentially one of our linemen.
I'd love to see Stanley get there, man.
I was gonna say that would be my dark horse of the team.
Justin Tucker don't count, Sam. We know we got the best kicker to ever kick.
Yeah. I didn't even thought about Tuck. Tuck should be out at this point. Tucker should be an All-Pro, but I'm always fair. I felt like Tucker had one of his worst games on the playoffs. If you think about the kick that he missed, I think it's in the fourth quarter against the Chargers. That same place, the Chargers kicker made it. If he would have made that kick, now when we're driving, we're not looking for a touchdown. We have more time, we have more options. So I feel like he had a bad playoff game. I mean, he's still the best in my book, but I'll call it how it is.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll agree with you guys. I'll say Humphrey is definitely a shoo-in. If you look at the team, I would definitely say Humphrey is the favorite to make All-Pro from the Ravens. I would definitely say so.
All right, next question coming now.
All right.
Regular season. Regular season.
See, I talked about this one as well earlier because I could see, honestly, like I said, we're such a young team, man. The core of this team is so young. Lamar, 22. Hollywood Brown, 22. Miles Boykin, 22. Ben Powers, 22. Zeus, 23. We're so young, man. And it's crazy to think about how different this team is going to look than how the Joe Flacco-led team was. I could see us getting, like in the chat, they're saying 10 wins, 11 wins. I would absolutely love that. I think that is very possible if everything works out as we're hoping. But I could also see 7 or 8 wins if things don't work out. And I know people don't like to hear that because they just want me to pour the purple Kool-Aid all over the place. But I'm sorry, I got to be a realist, you know. But I think the safe bet, I predict us to get 10 wins this year, so I'll stick with that. I'll say 10-6.
So I haven't done my deep dive video on the schedule, but I'm just for this. What I'm gonna say, assuming everything is healthy, this record will fluctuate as Lamar's play. If everything is healthy, this team has the pieces on defense. This team has more playmakers that Flacco had for years. And they have a very solid O-line. So if everything is healthy and we finish 7, like Noobo says, 6 or 7, that means Lamar Jackson had a bad year.
Yeah, that's true.
If he has a decent year, I think we should win at least 10 games. So what I'm in is more between 10 and 11, like I think a lot of people have put. But yeah, in my book, if everybody's healthy and we don't have a good season, that means Lamar had a crappy year.
That's true.
Now, my number is 10. My reason is a little different. And simply because of the conversation we just had, all that depth on defense. I think we're going to win 10 games without a blowout at all. We'll probably lead the league in close games.
Yeah.
Again, huh?
Right, again. This will completely be gray again. and Sonny, you'll probably get some grays too following that. You'll be headed toward some of this, you know.
I'm getting there.
Following these Ravens.
Can I finally grow a beard? I can't grow a beard to save my life.
You don't want that. You don't want those problems.
That's true.
But I think we get it based off the backs of the defense. I think Lamar will probably suck some games and then have one, you know, run for 60 yards to put us up late.
Yeah.
Or he'll have, you know, he'll have a good game and we'll beat somebody by 10 or 14. But I also think he'll have games where we're down and, you know, they'll finally call passes and he'll be able to run the ball. I think most of his runs should come off dropbacks. I wanted that to happen last year, but they were scared to call passes. And I think most of his runs should come off dropbacks when the DBs are actually turning and chasing people.
Oh my God, Coach, I agree with you. I think the design runs for Lamar should be the minimum.
Yeah, exactly.
It should be there's nobody open and everybody's on coverage. You know what? Now I have space. Let me go get it. Right. And then as soon as somebody comes close, again, don't take that extra hit. Slide. Live to see another down.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah. Yep. So, I see the shaving has taken over the chat box. Now, this is the last question because we don't want to have Sonny up all night. and keep in mind, let me finish it. Now, when I hit enter on this question, keep in mind, your answer cannot be Baltimore Ravens. Okay. Your answer cannot be Baltimore, even in the chat box. Your answer cannot be Baltimore Ravens.
All right, that's the rule.
Because we all know we want Baltimore to win this game, but outside of them, who would you like to see win?
Okay.
So the Ravens are not an answer. We all want the Ravens to win Super Bowl.
Of course.
But if it was somebody that you would, be like, okay, yeah, they want it. Okay.
I'll say the first team that popped into my head, the Chiefs. I really like Patrick Mahomes. I'm a big fan of Patrick Mahomes. And I just don't want to see the Patriots make another Super Bowl, man. I don't want to see them win another Super Bowl. So I'm going to go with an AFC team. And if I would have to pick anyone else besides the Ravens in the AFC, the Chiefs, if I had to pick an NFC team, I would say the Bears, just because I love their defense, man. They're one of my, aside from the Ravens, they're one of the teams that I love watching, the Bears. They have question marks as well with Trubisky and stuff. But I mean, I would love to see that defense make a run, So that's my answer, Chiefs and Bears.
Okay.
I would say Who Dat Nation, the Aints.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I love me some Drew Brees. I want him to have a second Super Bowl before he retires. So if we're not winning, I'm hoping the Saints are the ones, take over. And you know what? If the Patriots make it with the Saints and the Saints just crush their dreams in the Super Bowl, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it.
To even go.
I mean, that would be ideal, but I just want if it's not us, it'll be the Saints. That's my hope. That will be my other team.
Now I have two answers. This one answer is who it would be sweet to win the Super Bowl. It would be a big kiss my butt. Would be Oakland. It would be a kiss my butt to the city of Oakland because they're leaving.
Oh man, that'd be crazy.
That's a big kiss my butt, but that's not the team I'm picking.
Yeah,
the team I'm picking is actually the Saints.
Okay.
Reason being because I love their offense.
Yeah,
and I love their offensive line. And my love for the offensive line recently happened from watching that Mark Ingram stuff. I saw a lot of similarities in what they did with Mark Ingram, but they did it from under center. If that makes sense. They would run split zone. They run inside zone. They run different things that we run too, but they did it from under center. So we could take some of that stuff and put it into our game with Lamar being able to run, and it would be deadly. But I'm gonna say the Saints.
Who dat?
All right, and I'm gonna pose this last question before we close it out. Who will be the other starting wide receiver?
Aside from Hollywood?
Well, I think it's consensus say Hollywood gonna start.
Yeah.
Who's gonna be the other starting guy? Because we know Will Snead's gonna be our slot guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Andrews is probably gonna be our starting tight end.
I think. Well, sorry, Sonny. Okay.
No, go ahead.
I think at first it's going to be Chris Moore. And I know every time I bring this up, people are like, Chris Moore, what are you talking about? But I really, because we heard, man, Harbaugh told him, it's your time. So I think Harbaugh's going to keep with that promise, unless Chris Moore shows up in the preseason and he just looks horrible, which is a possibility. But if he looks good enough, I could see him getting that WR2 spot.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Chris Moore's job to lose. It goes back. Harbaugh loves his veterans. He has a leg up against everybody, right? He's been here for 4 years. Seth has been here for a cup of tea, so I don't think he takes over Chris Moore. I don't think Boykin takes over Chris Moore. Abodayu, or however you pronounce his name. Sorry, bro. He's between hurt. I'm not saying he cannot make the team, but he's probably not making the team. I wish Lastly can have consistent hands to be the number 2. And I wish Jaleel Scott can prove me wrong and be decent. But at this moment, and I'm really rooting for Jaleel Scott, even though I didn't like him last year, meaning when I saw him, the little that I saw for him, I was very disappointed. But ideally, one of those two, meaning Lastly or Jaleel Scott, will be your wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
But I would say it's Chris Moore's job to lose.
Okay. I think it's going to be Seth.
Seth
Roberts.
Yeah.
Now I think it's his job. I think he's going to lose the job though. I think starting out it's going to be Seth Roberts.
Interesting.
Seth Roberts. And the last thing I'll end on, because I know I said it a minute ago, because I want to go back to the promise I made. What undrafted free agent would not only make the team but actually play some meaningful snaps? And I'll go first. I think it's going to be Gerald Willis. I'm a Miami homer.
Yep.
I think it's going to be Gerald Willis.
I agree. I mean, Gerald Willis, you just can't ignore his talent, man. When you have as much talent as he does, you have to find a space for him on the defense, man. So, yeah, absolutely. Another name, Antoine Wesley. I see some people bringing it up in there. I would love to see him make the team. I don't know if he will.
Right.
But I would love to see it.
I really like his game.
Yeah.
I really like his game.
Yep.
Sonny?
So I will say Wesley. I think Wesley's in this bind that if Jaleel Scott bowls, then Wesley then becomes probably like a practice squad guy.
Mm-hmm.
If Jaleel Scott comes like last year, doesn't perform, doesn't look like he adjusts, then that's when Wesley has the opportunity. I think, like I said, I told Noobo this a couple of times, either Mac or Willis is going to make the team. One of them is making the team. Not both. I don't think you're going to have 4 basically nose tackles, but one of them will make it. I tend to incline a little bit more on Mac, but I can see Gerald Willis. I think they're basically equals. And I know a lot of people like Silas Stewart. I don't think he's ready. Although for the rest of those players, the Silas, the whatever the other guy's name that I forget, and there's a tight end from Delaware that I semi like. They will have to make special teams.
Delaware.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody else from Delaware.
Hey, Boyle's from Delaware. Delaware. My point is, all these other players will have to make contributions in the special teams to make the team. So I think Wesley actually has legitimate opportunities to be a receiver. Jalen Smith, I see nothing from him. I haven't checked the chat, but I always hear Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith.
I'm not gonna like you for that.
No.
Yeah, well, I told Samuel that I don't think Jalen Smith is ready. I think he should be a practice squad guy. He has the body to be a good receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have much after that.
And in camp, he's gonna get a ton of balls from Lamar.
Yeah. Yes, Lamar Jackson wants him to be good, right? So obviously the coaching staff wants him to be good. I just think he's not ready. Best scenario for him is he plays good enough that he can make the practice squad and maybe learn the trade craft a little bit better, and next year come and try to make the team.
All right. Sonny, plug your channel, man, so we can, wrap this thing up.
So guys, if you can help me, I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers, so go check out my channel at SZGSports. I've been commenting on the chat, so you can just head there, subscribe to my channel. I do Ravens video. Like I said, me and Noobo also have a weekly show. And then I'm trying to do every Monday night live stream, unless apparently there's been a couple weeks that I haven't been in Maryland, but for the most part. So please come. Same for Twitter and IG and Facebook. So please join the channel. And thanks for having me, Coach.
Put the name of the podcast in the chat box.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sonny. Yeah, I mean, you guys know I'm Joe Noobo. Definitely subscribe to my channel, JOE space NOOBO. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Ravens all the time, man. That's what we're all about, all three of us. And yeah, like Sonny said, we have the NF podcast that we do weekly, supposedly weekly, but it's kind of been it hasn't really been weekly that much.
Life
But
happens.
yeah, life happens. But we're definitely, as soon as the season starts, you guys know we're gonna have plenty to talk about. So definitely expect weekly podcasts. That's for sure gonna happen. Weekly videos, more than weekly videos. But yeah, guys, definitely check out my channel, Sonny's channel, and of course, if you're not subscribed to Coach's channel, definitely subscribe to his.
Again, I appreciate you guys coming on. And again, I'm Coach Evans, Sip the Tatted Films, and during the season we'll have the Ravens roundup. And right now I'm just going through picking out guys on the roster to see if they'll help us. Today I looked at some film on Willie Henry. Didn't get it out, but trying to debate on how I want to do that because I saw some good things, saw some bad things. But again, if like, comment, subscribe. And I know if you comment on any one of our videos, myself, Sonny, or Joe, if we're not actually doing something at the moment, you'll get a response right then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we all like talking ball.
Mm-hmm.
So just hit us up. Let's talk football. And even if it don't have to be the Ravens necessarily. If it's something that's big on the league, we'll get in also.
Absolutely.
So, so we're gonna stay engaged and we're gonna be faithful to our Ravens flock and hopefully we can have good content all the way up to February.
Yep. Oh, I think so. I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean Ravens content, not draft.
I know.
Let's not talk about the draft so early, right?
Right. And I appreciate you guys coming on, man. Thank you guys. And this is Coach Evans. I'm gonna sign out.
All right, guys. Later.
Peace out.